Right. Terrell, it's so wonderful to see you again. It's been, I think, 9 years now since I first met you at London Vet. And it was so fun at the time because you were such an enthusiastic, wonderful person. And then finding out you're from Scotland and a bit more about your story. But at that time, 9 years ago, laser was not really well understood in all of Europe, especially in the UK, and even more so in your town, south of Glasgow. And
Yes.
it's,
Barnhead,
sorry?
Barnhead, Craig Park in the descent in Barnhead.
And how many vets in your area knew much at all about laser at that time, 9 years ago?
Probably zero.
But here you were looking at this and listening to me and thinking something clicked in your mind that this seemed like something that would be good for your practice.
Yes. I had originally been doing acupuncture, and that was what inspired me to find out more, because sometimes the acupuncture wasn't quite the right tool for the job. And I'd seen laser being talked about in the veterinary press. I'd come to the London Vet Show and listened to a very interesting lecture. And then I was wandering about the trade exhibition looking at the different machines that were on offer. And then I found you with the multi-radiance tool down in the equine section very quietly, and realised that this was a very versatile, suitable tool that I'd be able to take home with me and use in my practice.
And cats, of course, can be a little finicky when it comes to putting needles down their
Yes.
leg. And you had the opportunity to do laser puncture as well, which was very different,
Yes.
but gets great results.
Yes.
And I think also Dr. Alan Schoen. He wrote the original textbook on veterinary acupuncture. Just a wonderful man. And he knew all about the energetics of it, how it worked, because it's so transmissive to biophotons, the laser, and getting really strong results. But there you were trying it out on your practice. And who was your first guinea pig? Who was the first person you said, hold still, I want to try this laser on you?
That was my daughter, because I took the machine home from the London Vet Show and thought, well, I will pump the book to try and figure out what to do. And you had explained about how to operate it and so on. She had hurt her elbow or shoulder, I think her shoulder. I said, well, let's try this brand new machine I have. And we were interested in the fact that it did not cause tissue heating. One of the things that had disturbed me slightly about some of the other machines was the potential to do some harm.
Right.
And if you're using new technology, you don't want to do any harm with it. So I was very encouraged by the fact that I wouldn't do any damage. We got going with that, used it on my daughter. She agreed that it was not harmful, but it was beneficial. And then we started using it on pets following week.
And we know the conundrum of vets not getting good business and marketing training in vet school. So how did you introduce it to your clients?
Because I had already been using acupuncture, then I had already an idea of the kind of cases I could use it for. Really, initially, there's probably a bit of a replacement where the needling's too difficult. I'm going to use this machine. I didn't have a lot of confidence at first in my own capability with it because it was so new. There was a lot of information in the booklet that came along with it. I'd just come back from the show. I was my head was busy with all the information. And it was really just a gradual realization that I could use it in so many places. So we start off by using it to treat pain. We start to see the difference that you can get, especially also for wounds and how the wound healing can improve. I knew that acupuncture could again speed up the healing of wounds, and I was very encouraged how the multi-radiance laser with blue light and red light could heal and improve wounds. So that was my two main places, pain and wounds. And as you use it and see the results and compare them to the results, if you've been a vet a long time, you know what you're not going to get. You know how long things could take to get better. And then you see that the improvement in hundred signs quicker and
Yep.
more effectively, then you start to become constant in your machinery and also in your capability of using.
And then you did try to arthritis at some point because you had some animals with some chronic arthritis and a lot of pain.
That was the early stage of using it for arthritic animals who can really readily find back pain and hip pain. Even if you don't have any radiographs, the animal tells you where it's sore. And so you start using the laser on the sore bits, and they start giving you some feedback there as well.
How did those pet owners respond when they started seeing their animals obviously in less pain and moving around more?
The reason that people come to see the vet in the first place is they have a problem. We want you to help them solve the problem in some way or another, and you have to use the tools that are at your disposal to help with that, especially if your animal's in pain. And I think even for ourselves with our own animals, we do not like to see them suffering, and we really want to see them get some help. So clients really love it when they are getting the help that they desire, and when they see the difference nearly instantaneously with the laser, the animal starts to relax. The therapy is very tolerated. It's very gentle. It's very easy to do. You don't have to prepare the ground. You're in the consultant and you just go and grab that machine and get going with it right away. You get straight away results, and just as you reef all round, it's really very rewarding.
No. And when did people start talking about it? When did you start seeing that buzz starting to get more people coming to see you because they're talking to each other about it and other vets are starting to refer people to you?
I think that the difference with the multi-radius laser for us was that all the members of the practice team could use the machine. And the acupuncture was only me, but this meant that everyone could be involved. And I could also delegate to my nurses a program of treatment as well. And therefore, more animals were getting more treatments more frequently. That caused me to have to buy a secondary machine.
Now, that's a good spot for us to stop and go to chapter 2. What happens when the laser gets too busy? Okay. We're going to go to chapter 2 in just a second. I'm with Dr. Carol Dobson, and it's just a wonderful 9-year relationship and how it's grown during that time because she found a tool that works so well. Back in just a moment.